so interested in seeing what him and Quinn Ewers do this year. There's been so much hype.
We have a pretty dangerous running back in Blake Corum.
Maryland's got Talia Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
A little too backyard footballers.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Saturday, college, ladies and gentlemen, it's college football Saturday, and that means you know I'm with my guy all the way from way up north, Mr. Alex Loosemore. What up, Alex?
Not too much, man. Exciting week of football we're coming off of, heading into another big one. We got a national championship rematch game tonight. Some other big games. I know Mizzou, Texas A&M. That's the only ranked matchup of the week, but some big games that just happened and some big games that are about to happen.
Oh yeah, and North Carolina, we hope we can get a win. Last 2 weeks have been rough. We put up a combined 91 points in the last 2 weeks. We just got to get a win against undefeated Pittsburgh. We got to get a win. That's as far as I'm going. I'm not excited. I'm not upset. I just need a win. Dang on it. All right. Well, yo, this is Let's Talk College Football. We're so glad you can join us as we try to take you into week 6 of the college football season. Ladies and gentlemen, the season is flying by. So just try to sit in here. I did want to say this, and I know you appreciate it. You and I talked about it. We are now in the midst of a 52-day straight football run. We got football here through November, man. Come on now.
The day before Thanksgiving is the next day we don't have football.
Come on, man. Woo!
Insane.
Love it. For those of you that are like the two of us that just can't get enough football, this is your Christmas. You know what I mean? This
Paradise,
is your Exactly. So look, starting with that, the first 2 games that started that 52-game run was the Thursday night and the Friday night recap. We're going to start off first with the Thursday night game. Texas State gets a 38-17 win over Troy. This is a great game by Jordan McLeod, 20 of 28, 252 and 3 TDs. Got another rushing touchdown as well. Alex, what are your thoughts on this one, man?
Yeah, I mean, they won by 3 touchdowns, and that was with multiple turnovers. So they were in total control of this game. If McLeod doesn't throw 2 picks with the touchdowns and the yards and everything he had, they probably put 50 plus up on Troy. So I don't even think the score is that indicative of how easily they won this game.
No, absolutely. To your point, man, it was 28-10 at halftime. And, you know, without the interceptions, I mean, like you said, this could have been far, far worse. But shout out to Texas State getting a victory. They're now 3-2. Good for them. Going forward, on the other side, I can't say I expected much different from Troy. But the transfer portal NIL hasn't reached down there yet, but it's all good. You know, hopefully you get a W next week. Oh, wait a minute. No, next week they play South Alabama. So
that's another loss.
Okay. So
and then Arkansas State after that. It's probably another loss.
Troy, it's gonna be a tough season for you guys. Sorry about that. On the flip, Texas State plays Arkansas State, so that might be an undercover really good game.
I think that's a sneaky good game.
Oh yeah. And then ODU, and then Louisiana. So they too, and then ULM. So a lot, those latter 2 teams only have 2 losses between them. So, hey, Texas State, this is something good to build off of after a 1-point loss last week to the team we're going to talk about next. Sam Houston State, ladies and gentlemen, puts up 41 on UTEP. And listen, Alex, man, Sam Houston State, another one of these teams that just kind of came up into the FBS a couple years back and putting up 41, albeit UTEP struggling, but big win here.
Well, that's back-to-back 40-point games because you said the 1-point win over Texas State, that was 40-39.
Yeah.
So this offense is kind of clicking now, 31 the 2 weeks before that.
Yeah.
So this offense kind of found its groove after struggling against UCF week 2. So nice to see them get rolling here, and we're starting to get to the point where teams are becoming bowl eligible, or some already are. Okay. Sam Houston is 1 game away from being bowl eligible. They're 5-1 right now. So, which is insane to think about. Now, are they still new enough that they don't get in? I forgot about that.
I thought didn't they come in the year JMU came in? Or did they come in last year? Because if they came in last year, I think they're new enough. While you look that up, hey, Sam Houston State was led by Hunter Watson and DJ McKinney. Hunter Watson, the quarterback, was 19 of 29, 224 yards and 2 TDs, and had 32 on the ground. McKinney, their running back, over almost 140 yards and 2 TDs, contributed a little bit in the pass game as well. Look, they, like you said, back-to-back weeks of 40 plus. They've only lost 1 game this season. Sam Houston State is another one of these teams like JMU, like Liberty, Jackson State, we're going to talk about it a little bit later, that are playing good football. And in that conference that they're in, I mean, success could happen. And I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm. So they are only in year 2.
Okay.
So unless we don't have enough bowl eligible teams like last year and they give an exception to Sam Houston like they did JMU and Jacksonville State last year, they won't be going bowling.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate because this is a very good football team.
It is. Hey, and they'll shout out to them. You know, we'll see what ends up happening. But I think this is starting to show us that some of these teams that are coming up, albeit UTEP 0-5. So UTEP, another team that's having a struggling season. But of these teams that are coming up into the FBS, they're not these pushovers. They're not these teams that are just going to get ran out of the building. You know, We've seen Jackson State a couple weeks ago. Obviously, JMU is a powerhouse. That's what they are. They're a powerhouse. Okay. All right. They bought me this house behind me because they felt bad for hanging 70 on and taking 500K from me. Okay. They are a powerhouse. I will not say anything else. But I love this. I love to see these smaller schools coming up and really making things competitive.
Absolutely. One of the next teams we got here is 2 of those new teams.
Oh yeah.
From the last few years here.
Oh yeah, let's bring it down. Jacksonville State, Kennesaw State. This one, it lasted until about halftime, and then Jacksonville State ran away with this thing. Alex, I think it was like a 3-point game at halftime, and then all of a sudden the score is 63-24. Man, what happened?
Yeah, it was 21-17 at the half, and then Jacksonville State just scored 3 touchdowns in each of the third and fourth quarters. Yeah. So it was just kind of a struggle there for Kennesaw State. They just kind of fell apart. But, you look at this. The quarterback, Tyler Huff for Jacksonville State, 15 carries, 176 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah. And the main running back, Trey Stewart, 24 carries, 134 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
They just ran the ball, pounded it down their throat, and just imposed their will, scored touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. So, what a performance on the ground by Jacksonville State.
And I was about to ask you, I was like, who is that team that Jacksonville State beat a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Sorry, Ben. It's been a rough year. I'm going to lay off you, buddy. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, man. But to your point, man, I think it was in the second half, they outscored Kennesaw State 42-7. You talk about those numbers. All I can do is clap for it, man. Shout out to these guys. They're 2-3. Kennesaw State, another winless team in here.
Yeah.
But to see this type of performance after the game was somewhat close at halftime, we always talk about adjustments and things that were said at the half. I don't know if this was necessarily adjustments as much as it was one team just kind of came out flat in the second half.
Well, I mean, you look at Kennesaw State, they had, if I'm not mistaken, 2 turnovers each half.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you had 2 turnovers in the first half. You were only down 4. Then you have another 2 in the second half. Now, one of them was a pick 6.
Bye-bye.
But 42-7. Like,
yeah. Ooh. So, yeah, Jacksonville State, they got a big win. Kennesaw State, there's always next year. Come play North Carolina, okay? We'll pay you. Hopefully we'll win. All right, let's go. Actually, maybe let's rethink that.
I was gonna say, be careful.
I don't know about that, but we'll see. But shout out to Jacksonville State, got the win. They are now 2-3 going down the pike. They have they have New Mexico State that's 1-4. They could potentially get it. Middle Tennessee State. Then after that, that's also 1-4. So we can see them easily at 4-3. But then you got Liberty. Then you got Louisiana Tech, FIU. So down towards the end, it might get a little rough. But hey, there's room for improvement in these next couple weeks. Let's see if they can do that.
Yeah, I'm excited for that Liberty game in a few weeks here.
Oh, yeah. And shout out to our guy. I got a guy that is a buddy of mine, Bryce Grant, went to Liberty. He's actually kind of talking about Liberty like Alec is talking about Oregon and like Nathan's talking about the Ravens. Yeah, he's like, what's going on with them? I'm like, you guys are undefeated. But this isn't like last year. And I was like, oh, I get it, my guy. I get it.
Yeah.
Let's come on and talk soon.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yo, let's move on down the list. Houston gets the win 30-19 over TCU. And I'm going to say, 2 years ago, TCU's playing for a national championship. And now, they're 500, and I understand maybe this is not indicative of how they're playing. A lot of their talent left, a lot of things have changed out there. But this is a game that I thought that they would get the dub, but they lost by 11, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I was very surprised by this one. The way Houston's played this year, I was very confident in TCU to take this one, especially at home. But like you said, with the talent they've lost over the last couple of years, I think it really shows just how good Max Duggan, Quentin Johnston, DeMercado, and all those guys were. That was a special team that year. And they've just kind of gone back down to what TCU normally is, kind of that 500, a little bit better kind of football team. Yeah, this was a tough one because, I mean, Houston hasn't really gotten the offense moving that much this year.
No.
But they
came off the last 2 games, they were shut out.
Yeah.
They put up offers against, who was it? Against Iowa State and Cincinnati,
Yep.
So, I mean, coming into this game, I mean, it was supposed to be a no-brainer that TCU could get it done. I mean, I think they're maybe not better than Iowa State, but I thought, well, maybe they're not better than Cincinnati because Cincinnati's kind of on the rise themselves.
Yeah.
I still, but you still, I didn't expect this at all, man.
No, Houston ran for over 200 yards.
Yep.
That was the main difference. And I mean, it helped that they broke off a 71-yard run for a touchdown. But yeah, that was one where I didn't pay attention to that one last night because I was watching these next 2 games.
Yes.
And then it was one where I checked the scores later and I was like, wait, what? Houston,
really?
Houston put up 30?
Right.
Yeah.
To your point, Houston was able to put up the 210 and their defense held TCU to only 66 yards on the ground. And I think also I talk about this with Washington, that getting off the field on third down, Houston's defense was able to get off the field. They shut them down. They were TCU was 3 of 10 on third down. Now Houston was 5 of 13, so it wasn't that much better. But we talk about a turnover, talk about all the other facets of this ball game, and Houston, they were able to get that done. TCU, I don't think that there's much positive going down the pipe. You got Utah next, and then you got Texas Tech, Baylor, Oklahoma State, Arizona. Yeah, I
mean, the one bright side is Big 12 seems wide open this year.
Yes.
There's games being won and lost that we haven't expected by multiple teams here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess you could take that as hope. Like TCU beat Kansas, but lost to SMU, Houston, UCF. So it's just like it's kind of hard to gauge TCU right now.
Yeah,
which is kind of the overall feeling of that conference right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they could very well turn this whole thing around, and all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, is it this TCU? What happened?
Yeah,
but this is not necessarily a good look. I mean, Houston has failed to put up points in the last 2 games, and they put 30 on you guys. So yeah. Texas Christian, hey, get it together, man. Just you can live off the fact that 2 years ago you won a game.
You lost by 70 in a national.
Well, yeah. I was trying to hold it from that, but I know you're bitter on the game. Oh yeah, we're moving on. I understand that feeling, man. And another team that you're not too fond of got whooped last night. Sparty got crushed. They go to Outset and lose 31-10. And you and I were watching this game throughout, and I mean it was 21-0 at one point. I mean, I thought Sparty was going to field something better than that, but it the run game was elite, man. And you talked to me about him last night.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you look at it, Oregon didn't play well either, and still won by 3 scores.
Yeah.
I mean, Dylan Gabriel had the 2 turnovers in the first half. He was pretty smooth the rest of the way. I mean, they ran the ball at will. 213 yards, 2 touchdowns, almost 6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Like it was just they slow, methodical. They beat them like we normally do. So they
there it is.
I had to yeah.
There it is.
And I mean, yeah, the defense just suffocated Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan James was awesome. Dylan Gabriel needs to be better, especially next week.
Yeah. Because we were talking about this, and I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was like still 7-0 going into the second. You talked about those 2 turnovers that Gabriel had. And, for a second, I was like, okay, Michigan State, that defense. But once that running game got going, Jordan James, over 160 yards on the ground. Once that started going, and you started to see that they couldn't really stop the run, and that opened up the pass for Dylan Gabriel. That was all she wrote. That was all she wrote for them. But to your point, and I want to stay here for a second. Oregon, we expected to come in and be high flying, be able to really kind of put up some numbers on some of these teams, albeit this is not the Pac-12. Are you surprised by, that they're struggling a little bit? Is this part of the course? What do you think?
I think it's part of the course because, I mean, you look at it, Bo Nix was there for like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So you had a guy that was comfortable in the system. A lot of the pieces had been there and done that. You've got a lot of new guys in key positions this year. That offensive line is like 3 to 5 new starters coming into this year. So it takes some time to mesh there. I will say if they look like this next week against the Buckeyes, they're getting their ass beat.
Yeah.
And it'll be in Autzen. So they got to come out with a better performance than this. But I'm still hopeful for Oregon to have a really big year.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, I know you've picked them to potentially get to the Big Ten championship.
I had them as my preseason national champion.
And I've seen a lot of that, man. I've seen a lot of people that have said that. And I mean, I like the team on paper. I'm right there with you. But I to your point, there's some of these slow starts. We saw the Idaho game that nearly gave Alec a brain aneurysm when he was sitting here like, I hate this team. They're terrible. And we've seen some of the struggles of this team, but all the while still ranked 6th. all the while still undefeated, and it doesn't get any easier. You talk about it. I mean, Ohio State, Purdue, Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, Washington, all down the pipe. But this is formidable. If you get through that alley right there, you're gonna have some battle scars. People are gonna look at you like, oh yeah, they deserve to be in this spot. So
you run the table there, you're the 2 seed probably.
Absolutely.
Just because the SEC champ's gonna get the 1 seed. The way those top teams look in the conference, whoever comes out of that conference is gonna get the 1 seed. But I mean, the other thing with Oregon is if you start like you have the last couple of games, you're losing to Ohio State. You might lose to us in the Big House.
Mm-hmm.
You might lose to Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some teams that'll punch you in the mouth early and kind of take control if you start out slow. So I don't expect them to lose any of those games. I have them running the table, but they gotta wake up a bit to do that.
And on the other side, and I feel obligated to do this, even though I don't have to do this, but I'm going to still be nice. Michigan State, 3-3. I will say I did not expect them to be 3-3. I thought it was going to take a little bit longer for them to get wins. But in these last 2 weeks, they've been outscored 69-17, albeit Ohio State and Oregon in this. You got Iowa next, then you got you guys, then, a very good Indiana team, Illinois. I'm not going to lie to you. Unless they can get some offensive production, they might not get a win till Purdue, and even that game's in question.
Yeah, well, and then that next game after that is Rutgers, so I don't. Tough schedule. I will say I do like what Jonathan Smith is doing year one. Aiden Childs, I like what they're building there. It's going to be a good team in a year or two. They don't have the pieces there now.
Oh, yeah.
Mel Tucker had that one big year, brought in the veteran transfers, and then just never really built off that.
Mm-hmm.
So Jonathan Smith didn't really have that much to work with coming in.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like where it's headed for them. And I always like that game to be competitive. Like that 2021 game that we lost to them was still a really fun game. I love those back and forth. You never really know who's going to win kind of games. And hopefully they can get back to that. It's just not going to be this year. I don't think they get a bowl either. I think realistically, they probably lose all of them but the Purdue game.
Yeah.
So 4-8 at that point. But realistically, there wasn't much in the way of expectations coming into this year. So
no, I didn't see much. And shout out to what you're saying, that Kenneth Walker year where he has like 5 touchdowns, and that game literally vaulted him into that, NFL and the early draft and all that stuff. So they had a team. Now, unfortunately, Mel Tucker had some off the field stuff that, we saw how that thing played out. But to your point, this is basically a rebuild. Yeah, you bring in some of your guys that transferred with you, your quarterback and everything from Oregon State, but you still got some things that you got to work on. And it happens in the year that the Big Ten blows up and has 4 formidable teams that come in there. So not the best for you. And then you got Rutgers and Indiana both playing very well.
Came out of nowhere.
Right. So, sorry, Michigan State. Sorry, might have jumped off the bandwagon just in time. All right. And in the game of the night, former Ohio State quarterback Kyle McCord helps to get it done in overtime against formerly undefeated UNLV, 44-41 in overtime. We were watching this game last night, Alex. And look, this was a great one. Through and through. At one point, it's Syracuse gets up, then UNLV comes back. Then right out the half, Syracuse jumps up and gets 2 touchdowns, and UNLV marches back in this thing. And you're just sitting here back, forth, going to overtime, man. This was the game of the last 2 nights, and I loved it, every bit of it, man. What do you think?
This was such a fun one to kind of keep tabs on while we were doing that show last night. And You look at it, it was punt, touchdown, punt, touchdown, touchdown, punt, touchdown, and then touchdown, field goal to end the half. And then you get to the second half, and it was touchdown, interception, touchdown, field goal, punt return, touchdown, interception, touchdown, touchdown. Like, just insane. And then UNLV comes in, kicks the field goal to start overtime, and then Kyle McCord responds with that touchdown. We've been saying this a lot this year. What a game by Kyle McCord. And that's a very good UNLV team, probably fighting for a playoff spot. In a couple weeks, I feel like they have a play-in game against Boise State. I think the winner of that gets in. But, I mean, you look at it, they were able to get some semblance of a run game, 137 yards on 33 carries. Good, not great. But then you look at McCord, he threw 63 times. Yeah. Normally, if you do that, you're getting destroyed. You're trying to claw your way back. They ended up winning the game. 48-63, 355 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 1 interception. He's been on fire this year. Anytime they have some semblance of a run game, and he doesn't have to do it all by himself. Mm-hmm. And this was great complimentary football overall by Syracuse. Great win, 4-1, and still kind of cautious on if that regular Syracuse collapse is going to happen. I don't think it's happening this year. I think this is a legit, very good Syracuse team.
Look, man, you and I have been here year after year with the Dino Babers years when they started off 4-0, 5-0, and you're just like, what is this? Oh, then the other shoe drops, and they're 1 loss, 2 losses, 3 losses. But look, to your point, I don't know that they've had a quarterback like this, a legitimate quarterback like McCord in some time. I mean, I don't want to go back to the Donovan McNabb years, but I mean, it might be that long, yeah. I mean, I'm saying, somebody the quality of Kyle McCord coming here and doing what he's done. And like you said, he can do a lot of this by himself, but if you give him a little bit of help, he can really go far. And you see, they put up 44. I got to shout out LaQuint Allen, number 1. He had the game-winning touchdown, only 71 yards on the ground, but 2 rushing touchdowns, and then also added 58 yards receiving and 2 more receiving touchdowns. And hey, look, we talk about it. McCord's got that ability, but when he gets the help, when he gets some guys out there, that are definitely helping him and opening things up, you see what a difference that makes, man. And in that second half, when they came out shooting, I mean, McCord just boom, hit it, hand it off, boom, hit, and that's the thing you talk about, that balance between them, and that was exciting to see.
Yeah,
I was definitely excited to see. So big win. UNLV on the other side, obviously, like you said, potentially they're going to probably play in that playing game if they can keep going. Same with Boise State.
3 weeks away.
Oh, yeah. But all the talk has been Matthew Sluka and the running back. Both, certain obligations weren't met for the NIL, and they decided, even with a 3-0 start, that we are going to redshirt and go into the transfer portal. And I don't ever want to say good, so long, farewell, goodbye, but I kind of feel like UNLV's team said, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I was saying this last night on our show that when those guys left, the betting odds split to Fresno State being the favorite going into that game. And then you respond by beating them 59-14.
Yeah.
Like, Malik Williams came in as the quarterback, and this offense has not missed a beat. This defense has still been very good all year. But it was shocking how similar the offense looked, how it didn't really look any different. Like, Malik Williams just came in and just fired on all cylinders, just move the ball. And what a year so far for UNLV. This doesn't knock them out by any means. This is still a phenomenal team, still a playoff contending team for that 12 seed. And I can't wait to see how the rest of the season goes for UNLV.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And I am here for all of it. I obviously this is probably going to knock them out of the top 25.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, but you got Utah State next, and then they got Oregon State, and then that matchup with Boise. But after that, you got Hawaii, San Diego State, San Jose State, and Nevada. So even with a potential loss against Boise State, you would favor them in most of those other ball games. So look, if they can continue this going down the season, it's theirs to lose.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you lose that, it's probably your only conference loss. You still get another shot at Boise State in the conference championship game. Mm-hmm. You'd have to think the Mountain West champion, realistically, just based on even just looking at the rankings now, is probably going to be the Group of 5 champion that gets in. Yeah. Liberty's gonna have to stay perfect to try and match that, and probably NIU as well, just with that win over Notre Dame. So, I think it's the Mountain West Conference's spot to lose, especially going into week 6 here.
Oh yeah, and speaking of NIU, I mean, now they need to be perfect going out after the loss to NC State last week. So, and they, all the success that Notre Dame has from here on out definitely benefits them because it makes that victory look better. But yeah, no, to your point, UNLV, it's right there in front of them. NIU, a lot of these teams, and that's something I'm excited to see. Let's see. We all know the main 4 and the big name teams, but who's going to be those extra teams that are going to fight to get in there? It doesn't necessarily have to go to all SEC teams. Let's give it to some of these other, a group of 5s and things like that.
One, I don't know if you saw. I think this came out last week, but the Big Ten and the SEC are working on a partnership here for that. The next time they negotiate the 12-team playoff, they're going to ask for 4 spots each. Ooh. They want 8 out of the 12 spots to go just automatic bids for Big Ten and SEC. I was like, let's pump the brakes on that a little bit.
Cue the 16-game playoff coming soon.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just like, oh boy.
Oh,
it's not gonna happen.
Exactly. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. God, college football. Here we go, man. All right, look, those are the Thursday and the Friday night games, man. And there's so much down the pipe. We're going to get into our big games, and we actually got somebody who's going to come in, but we are overdue on our Week 5 game balls, so we wanted to go ahead and do that first. Do I have? I don't have that thing up there. I'll put it up right now. Alex, who is your first Week 5 game ball?
I'm going to go with a guy we spent a lot of time on Tuesday talking about, Jalen Milroe. Biggest game of the year, probably going to be the biggest game of the year. And he showed out 27 to 33, 374 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, and another 16 carries for 117 yards and 2 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns he was responsible for, and that's 491 total yards.
Yeah.
The dude was phenomenal against a great Georgia defense. He did whatever he wanted to. So he's got to get the game ball.
Oh, absolutely. And did it in the clutch. Obviously at the first half, but that second half in the clutch. And look, it took everything not to take that extra jab and say, my game ball is Ryan Williams. And just go all Bama on this. But no, I didn't do that. Got to shout out a team that I've been watching this year, and you and I have talked about it. Kansas State, ladies and gentlemen, just got the win over Oklahoma State. That quarterback, Avery Johnson, 19 of 31, 259 yards and 3 TDs, and then 5 carries, 60 yards, and 2 more touchdowns. When he gets going, that offense gets going. Him and DJ Giddens, and I think Giddens had over 160 yards himself. When that offense gets going, his speed, the running game, I mean, it could really be elite out there. If they're hitting on all cylinders, Kansas State is proven to be a team that you don't want to play, especially not over there at Kansas State. So, shout out to those guys, man, and hopefully continued success. Who is your second game ball?
I also wanted to do the Ryan Williams to do the connection there, but we finally had somebody worthy of a game ball, so I went the homer route. Kalel Mullings, 24 carries, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns, almost 5 yards a carry.
Nice.
on over 20 carries. Very good game, phenomenal performance, and it wasn't like the other weeks where it was like one long run and then a couple like 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, and then like 50.
Yeah.
The longest run he had was 27. So that was just methodically moving the ball down the field, beating up Minnesota's defense, and just imposing the will. So for that physical old style football, Kalel Mullings got my game ball.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I know I shared something the other day about the top 10 Vegas odds, and Mullins was in that list.
Yep.
Okay.
He's slowly climbing his way up there. For the last few weeks, Donovan Edwards has still been higher than Kalel Mullings. So
Look, and every time I turn on NCAA 25 and I look at Edwards, I'm like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah.
I need more. I need more.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm waiting for the Ohio State game for him to put up another like $175 or something. And that's like the only good game he has all year. But who knows?
hey, like the Connor Stallions documentary showed me, as long as you win that game, all the rest is nothing. It's all for nothing.
Yeah, you could be 1-11 if that's your one. You're fine.
Get the win, right?
Successful season.
Yo, my last one. I would love to go Homer, but we lost, so I'm not going there. But you know what? I got to go to another tradition. USC quarterbacks. Obviously, we saw Caleb Williams, number 1 in the draft. There's a long list. Matt Leinart, Carson Palmer, all these guys down the list that did good. Even Sanchez. Mark Sanchez,
yeah.
You know, I don't know if I'll say great on that, but I'll say, you know, they loved him out there.
I mean, he was really good in college.
Yeah, you know, and then the pros, butt fumble. But the guy I gotta show love to, Double M, Miller Moss. We saw him come in finally at the end of last year in the bowl game and ball out, and he has been putting up numbers 30 of 45. Over 300 yards and 2 TDs, and then got another touchdown on the ground. In a game that Wisconsin actually jumped up at one point, 14-7, and you had to see if Miller could, you know, take these guys and come back, and they were able to get that done. And I don't even think it was close towards the end. Love this. I love that we have a quarterback now getting the attention at USC. Obviously, we've heard all the Caleb Williams stuff and everything like that, but I don't even really put Caleb Williams in that USC quarterback path because he transferred in following his coach. You know what I mean? Yeah. Miller Moss is a guy that sat on the bench, knew he was going to have to take a couple years before he got in. He's now in, and just like we talked about the bowl game, made the best of his opportunity then, and he's continuing to do it now in the Big Ten, and I love that.
Yeah. Whenever I think of Miller Moss, I always think of that. I go back to that bowl game and throws that long touchdown, and you hear the guy on the hot mic as he's running down the sideline like, "Oh, we a team now." I was just "Oh, these guys love Miller Moss." It's that guy that, like you said, he's been there. Yeah, he's worked with these guys for years now, and as a guy on the team, you love to see that guy finally get his shot, and he's balling out with it.
Oh yeah,
like he's played so well this year, keeping USC in that playoff hunt, and I think they'd be in the discussion if it wasn't a 12-team playoff. Like I think USC's that good this year. His ability to not have to do the superhero play every play, that helps the guys around you. So the confidence these guys have in Miller Moss, the confidence he has in himself, and the way he's been playing, absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm here for it. I am here for it. So shout out to Miller Moss and all of the guys that we picked for our Week 5 game ball. Let us know who you have for your Week 5 game balls and get ready for next week when we bring those game balls out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are actually 5 minutes away from game time, but we still have to talk about some of these big Saturday games. And listen, not all of us won last week, but some of us that were struggling did get the win. And they also like to kick field goals. We got to shout out the host of North Sports Dynasty, our guy, Andrew Boobs Fobear. What up, Andrew?
What did I do?
They won. Florida won, baby. Let's go.
Who won? Florida won?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Are we supposed to actually pay attention this year? Who did we play? Did we play like the sister team of UNLV Monroe or something? Did we decide to come up and play the Toronto varsity and almost lose by 3? Like, what the hell happened?
Oh, sorry, it was 2 weeks ago. You were on the bye last week.
That's what I thought.
Well,
That's what I thought.
In NCAA, you won for me. You won for me. I'm trying to give you some help, man. Come
I
on.
can't even win an NCAA with the Gators. Are we kidding me?
I understand. Yes. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hi. How we all doing?
Doing all right for Saturday.
I'm sorry, I'm on my cell phone because I have a very busy flipping day ahead of me. And then I saw that you guys were live. And then I was like, well, within the 20 minutes I have, I'll come in here. And now I'm down to 4 minutes because I feel as though like I'm like Gilbert Godfrey getting casted into Lion King. It's like, hey, can you wait on the side while all the other big people like talk here for a bit? Whoopi Goldberg is trying to do a monologue for sakes. Like, shut up. Like, your voice is so annoying. You're a Gator fan. Anyway.
Well, look, hey, while we got you the 4 minutes, there was a request for some more field goal videos. So when is the next one coming out, man?
Well, maybe today. I mean, like, it was planned today. I have to go pick up. What we got? Oh my God, I got bookshelves. I got bottles to go drop off. And then I got to go pick up something for the pretty lady. And then, oh my God, yeah, when the kids are back from the field, yeah, that's what's kind of the plan, I think, was to do that. I can get some food in me. I got to kick more field goals. And then someone said laces out. Listen, Bennett said laces out. Listen, I went over and watched videos because I was like, there ain't no way I've been doing this wrong for like 12 years of my life. I've hit field goals. I've hit people in the head too, trying to hit field goals, but I've also hit field goals. And I was like, and I've looked. It all actually depends. So now it depends on the weather, and if it's cold and stuff, I'm gonna have to put the laces just like a little that way.
Yeah,
just a little that way. But then I'm like, I've never had a holder that has ever actually done that for me either. Every time I've ever had I played in Thunder Bay, Ontario, where they were like, we run the ball. Who the hell kick? We have to kick for an extra field goal. Like Battistill, I love Battistill. Battistill was just like, Andrew can kick a fucking field goal. And you can go there and kick a field. Do you not see this guy's got more energy in him than most of us do in our back pockets, for crying out loud? Like this kid. So I go up, I kick a field. I got like 3 in a row. They put me at the 45. I hit it, and I was just like, I was just like, oh, that was pretty. How the hell did I do that? And then then you start processing like, okay, do what I just did, and then it shanks left and hits a coach like right in the chest, and you're like,
Oh.
They're like, Andrew, don't do that again. They're like, do what you did the first time. I'm like,
I thought I did.
Yeah, right. That's what I was trying.
They're like, don't think about it. And I was like, oh, and then even Battistow was just don't think about it. Just go up there and kick. But screw all these guys. He's like, even when it's important, screw them. And every time I would do that, I would kick. And then, of course, when I'm on the video and I'm pressured by Alex to hit 18, God, my leg hurt the next day. Oh my God. Kim was just like, why are you limping? I'm like, why am I limping?
Right.
Kick 40 fucking field goals, that's why.
I kicked that ball 40 flipping times, ran back and forth to go pick him up. And then on top, like, I am 33 years old, okay? I may look like I am athletic. I am sort of athletic, but it is in short bursts.
Hey, I told you if you kick the ball and hit those people, I would knock it down a couple. You declined. So
they were at like 60. Do I look like Brandon Aubrey to you? I'm not hitting them from 63. Barely hit it from 40. You watch the videos. Like less than 50% for crying out loud. I gotta do so much better.
But you still did more than I know I can do. I guess.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do that. So
I can't kick that. So
shout out to you, man. That's also the reason why I do it, is because as much as we all know the pressure of it, if my daughter or my son are ever going to play football and be like, listen, do you want to be the highlight of a party one time and literally do nothing for the rest of the season? I got a job for you.
There it is.
Best make sure you hit when it matters, because otherwise you ain't the life of the party.
Yeah, because
or you're the scapegoat.
Or if you're like me,
game on a last second field goal where our kicker missed it, and yeah,
I was how do I say this nicely? I was too indulged in other adult activities at a very young age when I went back for my 5th year of high school to play football. I lasted 2 games and said, screw this.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we went to the championship, lost by a field goal.
Oh,
And I'm like standing, like as my team is walking out too, like I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. I just kind of like, you look at people and like everybody knows. But that one guy, I think it was like Brandon Corrado or something like that. I can never remember his name. And he just looked at me and just like, yeah, you would have been really useful here, Andrew. Thanks. I was just like, I'm aware. I made choices in my life and stuff like that. But made for one hell of a reunion in the bathroom, though. We're all like sitting there crying at the 10-year reunion. Like, we all should have rings on our fingers.
oh my goodness. Well, look, we know there's a team that could use your help, and it's your Gators. They could use a kicker. Look, 2-2. They're going up against another Florida-based team in Central Florida this week. Central Florida, one of the best rushing teams going out. We had you in here a couple weeks ago talking about, is Napier out? Can he get the dub? He was able to get the win, but you see this game going forward, and it doesn't get any easier. What are your thoughts, man?
It's like I said, it's a struggling season. We're gonna show up against some of these mid-tier, lower-tier teams. That's why I'm like, I'm not gonna watch really anything until I see what we can do up against, SEC competition or Big 12 competition here and stuff like that, or the Mountain West, for crying out loud. It's one of those things again.
Better than the Big 12 this year.
Well. I mean, if there was a way that the scheduling wasn't done 5 years in advance, I think that our team would be better off playing every week against, say, a Clemson or a Louisville or Kansas State. The teams that are going to be ranked anywhere between 11, 10, all the way down to 25 are unranked, but still very, very good. I don't want these gimme teams anymore because, again, this is the Gators. This is a profound and pristine organization where we have millions of dollars and we make sure that the fan base literally is blonde haired on the one side. Like, it's ridiculous. They try to keep the image of the Gators, and believe me, I'm not for that. I'm for this. I like what they put on the field. I don't like the whole other side of it, but even what they're putting on the field is very sporadic and it's not working. And I just feel as though, again, if you get a coach in there, Billy Napier just seems like he's there for the paycheck and he's there for the namesake of it all for a bit, and that is it. And I just want them to go out and get somebody who's going to add a little bit of juice. Go get somebody from the damn NFL who is going to be rejected, and like Jim Harbaugh was for a bit. Bring them to a nice culture for 5 or 6 years, win a natty, send 20 players to the draft, and call it a day. Like that's what I'm at this point. And I don't even care if it's okay, Urban Meyer is a different story because we already went through that mess. But like, I'm almost ready for anybody else.
Won you a national championship.
Right, I
Not Jim.
Does Tebow have any eligibility left? Package deal.
Not Jim. Give me Johnny. Give me Johnny Manziel. Give me the new age. Maybe not Johnny, obviously, but give me the new age.
Swamp Kings version 2.
Right? Yeah. give me the new age, why can't I think of his name there? Was it Pierce, the Raiders' new head coach there?
Pierce, yeah.
You gotta just get me a damn Gator, for crying out loud. Go see what Brandon Spikes is doing.
You probably have him.
What's that?
If you're willing to deal with a 1-year suspension, you could probably have him.
Well,
if the Raiders suck.
The fact that Warren Sapp is on the Colorado team, just go do something unorthodox at this point. Like, go get someone from the 2001 Gators. You know what I mean? And just throw them in there and fine. I'm going to have a competition. We're going to go weight for weight. And if you can't compete with me, you're cut.
Let me throw this out there.
Yep.
What if, so we're going outside the box. What if you bring in somebody that's personally invested in Florida college football, but maybe doesn't go to the school that he played at? And Shador and Travis are going pro, and Dion.
But Dion's already going to FSU, so.
Well, what if FSU doesn't take him? Florida, then you can stick it to him.
So here's my thing. So I guess this is the college show, and I guess I should just say it on the college show. Whoever drafts Shedeur is going to hate the next 4 to 5 years of their life. And I'm not necessarily saying talent on the field. I'm saying all that other stuff that's going to happen.
The watch stuff. Yeah.
The watch stuff. The not shaking the hands with Brandon Fowler Nikolai? Braden Fowler Nikolai, the Colorado State quarterback.
Yeah,
there.
I was like, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
No.
Which, by the way, if you guys, but apparently that guy could be a next Taysom Hill type.
Oh,
there's some talk and some things that he's been doing apparently, like behind the scenes, where a couple of teams have yeah. Like a couple teams have been like, "Hey, wait a second! Like, you got this weird ability," and he's like, "Yeah, but I ain't showcasing it off in college here. This is something that, yeah." But I do not. If I'm the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and for some odd reason something happens, and Shedeur Sanders falls into your lap, and Dion's like, "Hey, man, listen, my son's gonna be great on the. Let me tell you what, man. I may only have one leg coming, but." My son's got two. And he's going to run all over that field for you. I don't want the drama. He is dramatic. He's going at the dude who recorded the interaction with the Colorado State quarterback, and he's going at him at practice being like, "Oh, you that dude that recorded me." He's like, "Nah, man, that ain't cool." And the dude on Instagram was like, "No, that's legit. That's you, dude. That has to be recorded. This is what I'm paid to do." He has an attitude like his dad, and I get it. And he's got talent like his dad, and I get it. But at the same time, how many teams did his dad play for?
Yep.
Because everybody loves the really, and I'm going to say this, but everyone loves the crazy lady or the crazy dude at the party, okay? Everybody thinks it's a great thing to have until you bring it home for 2 or 3 years, and you're like, I don't know if I want to deal with this drama anymore.
Yeah.
This is a little bit too much for me here. And it's nothing to do with his talent. It's just the fact that it's going to be too much depending on the market. And it's no different than Terrell Owens. Yeah. It's no different than Randy Moss. They all have that type. Yeah, they all have that type of mentality. And if the Giants draft him, that's going to just keep them down. I mean, him and Neighbors, though, would be insane.
Holy shit,
would be. But
now,
he's used to not playing in front of an offensive line, so.
Well, and we all know Dion said that he will veto certain places. He said he's not going here, he's not going there. That's why I think Jerry's World might be perfect. A place that's just big enough.
I don't think so anymore. Only because
with money, so
that's the thing. Yeah. And the way that the NIL is now, Shedeur could be drafted first round pick, say by the Dallas Cowboys, but then the problem is they'll just turn around, keep him on the bench for 2 years, and he doesn't get, if I'm not mistaken, he doesn't get the full value of the first round pick because he's sitting. He still technically has to play in order to get certain guarantees.
A lot of it goes to that the 5th year option is all
that as well
incentive based and
so if you're sitting for 2 years and you're not proving, and then all of a sudden you go in for 3 games after your second year for the Dallas Cowboys, who are now in a retooling situation, your value is going to just deplete, just like Bryce Young's technically has right now as well. So he, in my opinion, has 3 destinations, and I think the one destination that they're trying to make sure is vetoed is the Cleveland Browns. is I don't think that Dion wants his son going to the Browns, obviously, because one, it's outside. Two, they're not planning to necessarily build a domed arena for the next foreseeable future, which I think is like 4 or 5 years.
Mhm.
And three, it's Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
I think the Giants he would also veto, but I also think he would accept the fact that it's New York market because he
I
would
think it
get
would
the top
depend
dollar.
I think it would depend on the coach.
Also that
For the
as
Giants.
well.
Mhm.
Because I don't think if it's well, Chip Kelly wouldn't go back there, but if it's a Lincoln Riley or something like that, I don't think he'd go. But if it's a proven head coach that somebody has been coveting for a little bit here, I could see that. But it to me, it just seems like they want him to go to the Raiders. And it just seems that what the Raiders are doing right now is everything to put themselves in a position for next year. Because you got the head coach, he's got the personality. He already came out, what was it, week 3 or week 4, and said people are making business decisions. And now the people who have made business decisions that he hasn't said outright, are not playing. Zamir White, Devontae Adams, Max Crosby. So
yeah, Crosby's playing this week, but
I mean, with the injury and stuff. But
yeah,
the Crosby situation is starting to peak up too, where he's like, well, if this is going to be dramatic, and Pierce is like, no, you're going to be dramatic if you're going to start talking to the media. We're trying to build something here. We understand what we have here. We have an 8-9, 9-18. That's it. We don't have anything crazy.
Yeah.
We're not competing.
Wow.
So Shedur's going to go to the Raiders, and I think that would probably be the only place that would actually make it work for 4 or 5 years, where the attitude and the off the field stuff would all probably be okay because he's in Vegas. But I don't want him on the Bucs. I don't want the Lions to randomly come up and be like, hey, here's our quarterback after Jared Goff. I don't want, if you didn't have Jaden Daniels, I wouldn't want him on your team. Even we have a lot of friends in these groups, I don't want him on the Falcons. I don't want him on the Cowboys. I don't want him on the Steelers. I don't want him on the Cardinals. I don't want him on who else, you know what I mean? I don't want him on our friends' teams. I want him somewhere else.
Do we not have any Raiders fans? Is it Ben a Vegas guy?
I don't think we.
But he's a Bucs fan.
Team, yeah.
Yeah, he's a Bucs fan. He's a Bucs fan.
And we could put him on the Saints if we really want to, but no, I'm just kidding.
No, I see. That's the thing. Even with all the off the field stuff, I don't think you want to see him go to a division team. I think he's that good still.
That's the thing. Is you put him on again, like I said, you put him on the Giants with Neighbors. Damn. Oh, you put him on the Raiders with, when they trade Devontae, and even still with just Brock Bowers and some of the pieces they will put around him. Damn.
Well, and the other interesting thing is, I don't know if you guys have seen, but Travis Hunter is essentially trying to force his way to the Broncos. So you get Shedeur with the Raiders, Travis Hunter with the Broncos. I mean, his thing for the Broncos is, I don't want to move too far, and I like the fishing spots around here. That's why he wants to stay with the Broncos. But he's got good reasons why he's trying to force his hand.
Broncos are also probably going to be in one of the better positions if you think about it in the draft, where they're going to have a top 10 pick more than likely, but they might even have a close to top 5, top 6 pick where they might be in one of those positions where it's like someone could trade up for a quarterback. And it could be someone coming from 8 just to get over a divisional rival, someone from 9 or something like that. And Travis Hunter could still technically be available there. I don't think so, but he still could technically. If teams decide to go positional, say like the 2 tackles, the 2 edge rushers, even the 1 guard,
quarterbacks.
Yeah, and then the Carson Beck and Shedeur, and then probably another one.
Ewers.
Yeah, I could see Ewers. So then,
maybe Milrow.
Right?
Yep.
Milrow is going to start coming up there. So then all of a sudden, depending if NFL teams value the fact that he will play both ways in the NFL, the guy's not going in the top 5 respectively just because those 2 tackles, in my opinion, have more value to them than Travis Hunter does. 2 needy teams like that. If the Giants aren't grabbing a quarterback, there's your damn tackle. If the Patriots aren't grabbing a quarterback, there's your damn tackle.
And we've only talked the offensive side. You still have James Pierce Jr., Mason Graham, Will Johnson. Like there's other like key defenders sitting there too. So
I wonder though if these teams will. I know he has expressed that he wants to play both ways, but I wonder if these teams say to him, "And no, look, you're going to be either one or the other." Because I love him at Denver. Because I mean, you guys 2 lockdown corners, him and Surtain. I mean, that'd be great.
Oh my god!
Yeah. But then, do you let him play offense?
The other guy, the reason it would probably that Denver makes the most sense now. Because unless he does go, and I hate to say this, dude, unless he goes to the Saints, because then he could probably do both ways on the Saints and have Olave and himself be like a third target with Rashid down in the slot. That does make good sense.
And Lattimore and Kool-Aid
exactly.
Good Lord.
And if you just put him in a position where he doesn't have to be like the number 2 corner, technically, he can come in, be a nickel if he has to, be a man-to-man shutdown if he has to, and then put him on the offensive side if he has to, then you're starting to get the value out of him. So that's why Denver makes sense. That's why the Saints make sense. That's why doing just a quick little skim in my head. I mean, Buffalo technically would make sense, but I think he would say F that in a second. Houston would make sense. I just think that would be too much talent in that wide receiver room where someone would eventually have to go.
Him and Stingley at corner, though. Holy
I thought that mean goodness.
Come on, man.
Yeah, like just teams like that. Even him on Detroit.
The Colts.
The Detroit.
Oh, man, if we traded up for him, I'd lose my damn mind.
That's the thing, though. Look at
being coached by Aaron Glenn. What?
That would be think of it. Think of it though.
Carlton Davis, Terry Arnold,
if you are the Lions and you literally trade up for the guys that you want and you don't give a damn like that, they've proven that now. We're going to take the running back at 12 where everyone was like,
Gibbs.
They take Jahmyr Gibbs at 12. What are you doing? Did anybody just watch the last game?
Yeah.
Just saying. Exactly. And then they got Jack Campbell and Hawkinson, sorry, not Hawkinson.
Laporta.
Thank you. And all those
and
guys, they actually go up and get early. If Detroit is sitting there and they were to call.
Traded up for Terry and Arnold this year, too.
Just going another quick skim of the league. So let's just say it is who's got a quarterback already that we were just talking about? The Patriots. Okay. The Patriots have the 3rd, maybe 4th overall pick. Okay. And all of a sudden the Lions call you and say, we'll give you pick 32. We'll give you next year's 1st overall pick and the year after that's 1st overall pick. And I'll even throw in a 3rd and possibly Rodriguez just to give you a middle linebacker and just to make the trade big on draft day. I want Travis Hunter. Call it in.
And the best part about that would be the draft being in Green Bay.
Yeah. See, Alex is just making this a reality.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. So, anyways, I got to get out of here. I got a lot of stuff to do. Like I said, I just wanted to pop in. I wanted to say hi. I wanted to throw my Shedeur Sanders thing in there. Obviously, go Gators for as far as that'll take me. And hope obviously you guys are doing good. And to the rest of y'all, I love you. I miss you. Sorry NSD hasn't been around. I'm trying to do the family life a little bit more. That's why I'll pop into things when I see them live like this. I might go kick some field goals later today because the kids like to go out and they really actually like that. They were like, what did everybody say? Does everybody like me? And I was like, everybody hates you. So, no, I'm just kidding. I would never say that to my kids. How dare I? I'm a monster. So, yeah, you'll see me around. I'm going to hope get NSD going up here again really, really soon once everything is kind of like in place and I have more time, which more time is coming. So, but secretly, most of my time, and I ain't even gonna lie, has been working on the nostalgia show. So,
nice.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people have been reaching out saying, "Listen, hey, you want to do a TV movie show for us, please? That'd be great." And I'm like, I'm working on it. I'm trying very hard to make it humorous, but also informative and make people cry. My whole entire mission for these shows is to make people cry, except for myself because I cry every time. Just bring the tears. All right, guys. Love you. I'll see you guys soon.
All right, later, dude. Thanks for hopping on.
All right, man. Yeah. Let's go. Oh, man. Hey, the games have started. The games are getting going. Do you have any upset picks?
I got a couple here.
Yeah.
So one's a little biased. They got Washington favored. I think we go in pound the ball, and I think we steal it. I don't think it's an easy win by any means. I think we win it by like a field goal. My other one is a team we've had for upsets a couple times this year. I'm going one more. South Carolina at home upsets Ole Miss.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yes. Number 12 Ole Miss going down. Oh, I'm with that. I'm very much with that. I'm going to stay homer, and I'm going to say, because North Carolina has fallen down, this is the bounce back week against undefeated Pittsburgh. I don't know if you technically call that. I mean, by the record, you can call it an upset. I don't know where Pittsburgh is ranked, but they've been playing very well this year. I think we can get that dub.
By Vegas odds, it's an upset if you win.
Oh, there we go. I'll take that.
Oh, and I don't know if you seeing what's going on right now?
No. What's happening?
It was 3-0 Pitt, and you just returned a pick six.
Let's go. Here we go. The upset is happening.
Point after coming.
The upset is coming. Let's get it. And then my other one, where was it? Game I'm very interested in. I'm going to go ahead and call this, and it's because of what I saw last week. And I'm going to play some Janae right after, because Alex, you're going to think I've just lost it.
I think I know where you're going. Is it
in the ACC?
Yep.
Cal over Miami.
Oh, yep.
Yep. And I'm going to go ahead and do it to myself, man.
Wow.
That make me crazy.
Wow.
If you watched that game last week between Virginia Tech was like up 10 late in the game.
Yeah.
And Miami, credit to them, Cam Ward brought them back. But we looked at it, and as a matter of fact, I had the clip on here. I just deleted it. But if you saw that last little Hail Mary play by Cam Ward, I think it was his cousin, he caught it in the end zone, but then it looked like the guy took it, and he didn't, quote-unquote, complete the catch. They called it a touchdown on the field. The refs took like 6 minutes to look at it and then eventually reversed it. I was telling somebody it's because they were in Miami, and they were making business decisions. You know what I mean? But
it was the right call.
Yeah.
I will say that, because by the way you deem that, with multiple people touching the ball, one of them landed out of bounds.
Yeah.
So by the rule, that is an out of bounds ball.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's the right call.
Well, yes. And like our friend Anthony said, they wanted to keep an ACC team still in the hunt. And they're still undefeated, still top 10. But I do think there are some things that can be exposed on Miami. And Cal has proven they can play, especially in the SEC. So let's see. Hopefully they can get that done. But look, ladies and gentlemen, let us know who your upset picks are and what you're expecting for today. We'll be watching all these games, and we'll definitely be coming back to you on Tuesday, where we will be starting our conference outlook. We're starting to focus on a lot of these individual conferences and see the games coming up, how they're looking this year, who are the front runners, and who the season is basically over for. And we will start with my guys' conference on Tuesday, the Big Ten, and see, hey, how does it look? The 4 new teams came into that conference. How are things shaping up? And surprises, shocks, all that good stuff. So stay tuned on Tuesday for that. Stay tuned for all these games that are going on. And look, for my guy, Mr. Alex Loosemore, you know who it is. It's your boy, Sean Spencer. We will see y'all next time. We appreciate y'all. And happy College Football Saturday, people. Peace out.
I'm so interested in seeing what him and Quinn Ewers do this time of year. There's been so much hype.
We should have a pretty dangerous running back in Blake Corum.
Maryland's gone. Talia Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
Who's a little too backyard